doing these shows with you. And we have a incredible show. This is going to be the most astounding show I think a lot of people will ever see, at least for this time, because we're going to talk about things we've been working in secret for so very long. It's been just amazing. So I'll get to that in a moment. Crossdress Radio Network. We are the voice of cross-dressing. We get down to it and we get into it, and this is your voice out here. You need to go out, enjoy your feminine side, be proud of who you are. Do your best to put your any fears you have, trepidations, shame, whatever, aside, because you're a beautiful, wonderful person. And we're bringing you and everyone else like us out into the world. And I'm Jennifer sometimes, and I've approved that message. That's right. So tonight's subject is going to be phenomenal. Real quick, I've started like a year and a half ago, and we've been working behind the scenes to move this forward. And what it is the greatest survey on cross-dressing that's ever existed. There is literally no data, no information about cross-dressing. There is with the trans communities and other communities, yes, all the way around, but nothing on us. So I'll talk about that in just a moment. I am so excited. We had a guest on this evening, actually a couple, and she wrote me this really awesome note, and I got to read it to you because it's just so fabulous. And she's talking about her husband. He's more relaxed than I've ever seen him. Thanks to your podcast, he's learned about the pink cloud, and it helped me a lot. He was so excited about being able to be free for the first time in his life that he forgot about how I was feeling. You've helped us immensely, and I thank you for being such a positive force in our lives. Your podcast truly made a difference in our life together. That is the heart of what and who we are. And we do this all the time for you. And I'll tell you, it's not just the cross-dressers that are trying to come out and maybe think about talking to their wife about this. Those have already talked to their wives. They've already talked to people. They're out there. How can you improve upon it? And the single cross-dressers, we don't leave you guys behind at all. We don't leave the wives behind. No, we're here for you guys. And this program is going to show you how we're doing that. Really incredible. Really incredible. They're going to be on. This was from the wife. She sent that to me, and I've talked to them since, and they've agreed to be on. Circumstances led to certain things that they couldn't make it this week, so we're going to get them on in a couple of weeks. I can't wait for you to hear their story about them. They're wonderful.
Well, and hey, Jennifer, let's also mention who we're going to have next week, which is Jessica Blackler, the founder of Jecca Black Makeup. And Jecca Black is a non-gendered, all-inclusive makeup. That's like their mission, is to create a makeup brand that's accessible for any type of person. So if you are, white, purple, green, it's meant for you. If you are a man trying to cross-dress, or a trans, or you are non-binary and you want to feel, or gender fluid, whatever it is, and you feel like you want to do this or that today, they're going to tell you how. Like, they literally have booklets for every face shape and size and look, and tell you how to use their makeup sets and stuff for your particular issues. So I'm really excited to have her on. It'll be a wealth of knowledge. So that's next week. And speaking of makeup, Jennifer, you look a little different today. I think you look fabulous. I don't know, is your parts on a different side or something?
I don't know. I literally threw it together. I had a major personal issue, life-changing issue. So it's been a little bit of a something, but we're getting there. And
you look really cute today. So
thank you. I appreciate that. I'm pretty much beat up. I have more welts and bruises than you can imagine. But anyway, I'm here, And I care about our cross-dressing people and those have yet to tune into us and discover us. Tell your friends. It's so very important. And about Becca Black, I believe all of her products are vegan. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're not going to get a lot of chemicals and this and that. You're going to get really, we're talking about quality and we're talking about, there's a lot of great um, YouTube sites and all that that really help you along in doing things. Okay. We're going to get deeper. And that's what's important. Learn the depths of all this stuff. And soon we're going to have Eden from the Breast Form Store talking about wigs, but in a deeper sense. So you really get the depth of knowledge. That's what we're here about, is that depth of knowledge. Just not go throw it on and go, but the knowledge base. That's so important. Then you can go out in the confidence to be you, to free to be she, free to be you. I want to talk real quick before I get into the survey, which is just been amazing. I had been waiting for a year and a half to say this. And actually, because of this little switcheroo, I was going to do it in a couple of weeks, but guess what? We're doing it now. So this must be the right time. We're going on a cruise next Halloween, not in a month, but in a year and a month. Okay. Halloween of 2021, we're going out of Miami. It's 8 days. We're going to Aruba, Bonaire, La Ramona, and Amber Cove. It's going to be on the Horizon, the Carnival ship Horizon, which is the second newest in their fleet. It is an incredible journey, and all the elements are falling together perfectly for this. We board the ship on the 30th, the 31st, the next day we're all day at sea, so we can go and do our Halloween thing till the sun comes up. All right, because the next day we're at sea also, so we can recover from Halloween. It was perfect. When I saw it, I said, yes, this has got to go, because this is so great. Really quick, you can go to crossdresstravel.com, and in there you go and you sign. It's a free sign up for membership, because this helps us to kind of get some of the those that are really not in our group and all that don't want to looky look and they want to maybe cause trouble or something. We filter them out.
Yeah, and it also allows us to have that control. So if somebody does say or do something inappropriate, we can then move them out of the group.
Yes, because we believe in family friendly. If you're single, if you're married, you want to bring a whole family along, you want to bring aunt so-and-so, it's all fine. It is fine. No erotic, nothing sexual. We're there to enjoy and free to be free to be you. And bring your closet with you and try on all your stuff. Just think about it. If we're 8 days at sea, or we're 8 days on the cruise, if you change 4 times a day, that's 32 outfits. And how many shoes?
People do that. That's a thing. So
yes, definitely. So going through that portal, we have a cross-dressing licensed travel agent who's also a member of Tri-S, which is an awesome cross-dressing organization. Totally awesome. So I wanted to talk about that. $25 per person, $50 per cabin will save you. Also, will save the room and all that. And it will keep the price from going up later. Okay. That's the main thing, because when they start traveling again next year, people who haven't traveled in the past year are going to say, oh my gosh, they got to go. And they're going to be, up their eyeballs trying to get on board, but your price is set and you're covered. Okay. And you get your deposits back and stuff. Talk to our travel agent about that. Okay. I want to talk about the survey. Like I said, I have been waiting. So I am just so jazzed about this. A little bit of background. About a year and a half ago, I had on the broadcast Rhonda from Tri-S, the Atlanta chapter. She was the membership chairperson for their chapter. And for about 6-8 years, some period of time, she had, any new member came in, she had a short survey that she would fill out. And she took the data then, and she has spoken in front of all kinds of public organizations, talking about cross-dressing and all, and the public all around, and has been really instrumental in helping cross-dressing immensely. She is an amazing woman, fabulous. So she told me about this, and it started going around in between my ears, and so I got started with a survey. What sort of questions should we ask? No one's ever done this before in the history of the world. There's no data about us, so no one knows what to do with us. They just stuff us in a corner somewhere, or they point at us and say freak. But we're going to change that right now. I'm asking you to join me with this. First off, I need some help with it too, because this is a huge undertaking, and more undertakings too. I'm also forming a 501c3 nonprofit. It's going to be the Crossdress Research Institute, because we're getting into all this on a deeper level. Now, I am really, really proud of the progress we've done so far. And I want to tell you about right now the inner circle. First off, Crossdress Radio Network and Crossdress Travel and all are intimate with it all. And we started back with Rhonda, and we also worked, you probably know of Savannah Hawk and her wonderful books. And I always give her a plug because this book is worth it. It is the Bible. If you haven't read it, you got to read it. Absolutely. Go on Amazon or on crossdresstravel.com, and you can order them there through there, whatever, and get it, read it, and let your loved ones read it. Okay. We have now in the ones that are really working with this now, it's myself and Rhonda. And there is an association called the Professional Association of Transgendered Health. They're in every country in the world. We have the US version of that. They're here. They're working with us. I'll tell you more in a second. Also, we have support through their connections, Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. We also have a graduate student that's going to be helping us out. So this is going to be big time stuff. Yes, like it's never happened in the world. Now, I want to tell you that Tri-S, the president of Tri-S is Jane Ellen. She's on board with us, along with Rhonda. Also, the US PATH, the head of the US PATH, Professional Association of Transgendered Health, they didn't know there were cross-dressers, but they dove in and said, hey, we got to help you guys find out more about this. So they're really doing what they can to support us. And we're getting our place in the sun. Join me, okay? Now, Dr. Dana Bevan is the president of US PATH, and they work with the medical, both physical and mental, and the legal, both the attorney side and the lawmaking side, about transgenders and those that are, like us, but they didn't know about us. So this is the source for the medical and legal. When they come to this, they go to PATH to get the help, the assistance on what they need to do to present things properly and get it right. Okay. Now, Dr. Dana Bevan is president of US PATH. She's on board with us wholeheartedly. Then there's Dr. Vin Tangprisha, who is president of World PATH. He's on board with us, and he is supporting us. And he was able to get this graduate student to help. And he's at Emory University. He's a MD and a PhD also. So what we have here is a really high quality level that we want to make sure that everything is done in the levels of the HIPAA requirements, and through Emory, the IRB, which I understand, if I get this right, because this is not my field, is the interim report. Anyway, I don't know, but you got to get this together that we do it right. All the details are right. So we get the criteria right. And then by doing that, we have the credibility, the higher level of credibility. We're approaching clinical now at this point. Never been done anywhere. Join us. Join us. You know, this is so important. We've met about this. We're going to be getting together more and more. I've written some 15 pages of questions. And I just wrote down questions as they came to mind. I just didn't want to miss something or forget about it when it comes to mind. So it's there. We refined a lot of those. Okay. I sent them to Rhonda. She added questions. And we sent it to Savannah. She added questions and made notes and stuff. So we're trying to refine this and really get this right for us all. And I'm looking for help in a number of facets of this because it is a large undertaking. The internet being what it is, social media being what it is. I'm sure all of you have been out looking on social media and on the internet, and there are people all over the world that have thousands and tens of thousands of followers, and all. I need to reach that with those people with this survey. I need help in getting this data together as far as who we send it to their administrators. So that's just one facet at this particular point.
So to clarify that, Jennifer, so you're asking for volunteers. So if you are somebody, especially if you are in a different country other than the US, so if you're in Australia, you're in Japan, you're in Brazil, wherever you may be, and you are on the pulse of the cross-dressing, what do you want to call them? Influencers.
Yes.
You know who the influencers are for your countries. And if you could make that segue for us, if you could start going, or even just contact and say, hey, this is the list of what I found. But if you want to go that extra mile and say, make a segue for them, say, hey, I've heard about this, Crossdress Radio Network in the US, and they're going to do a survey. And what we're looking for is to get these different influencers to help disseminate the information. So basically, once the survey is ready, we want to get it out to as many people to know to take the survey. If we can't have people know, then we're not going to get a good sampling of information. So we want to try to make those connections to people that have an audience so that they can get their followers to take this survey. Because honestly, guys, this information is just going to help everybody in the long run.
Absolutely. And this isn't the only survey we're going to be doing. We've got follow-up surveys. We're going to be surveying the wives. I need to get together a committee of females that are wives that have been through it. Maybe they started off, hey, no problem, fine. And maybe they started off with, no, I'm going to the divorce attorney, but yet they worked it out. What questions can you come up with? You, the females, come up with, because I don't want male or cross-dressers tainting what your feelings are and what you feel is important and needs that the female needs to know other females, other wives, other girlfriends, mothers, sisters, whoever is female. Okay. We need to know that. And the other thing is, from a female point of view, we need to know more of how they look at their man and the mistakes that men are making, because ultimately we don't want to make mistakes, but we do. And we think we're doing a good job and saying the right thing. In reality, boy, it turned an awful cold that night. And it's, what did I do? I mean, this is a reality of life. How can we make this better? How can we make your relationships better? If you're a single guy, how can we help you so when you start talking to a new girlfriend, let's say, or whatever, you can handle it right in what you're saying and understand the emotions they come through. this is really deeply important. We need to go and get to the depths. I mean, we've had people on board that I've interviewed that have helped us out tremendously. Yes, it's time to drill a lot deeper. And this is what we need. And there may be certain cultural differences around the world. So there's going to be drop down boxes like what country. Everyone that gets the survey is going to be remaining anonymous. We're using Survey Gizmo. I've been talking to them and their support staff, and so we're going to make sure we're HIPAA compliant. I don't want people's information. I don't want our side or beyond Survey Gizmo towards us to get their information. I want it to stop there. So when this is analyzed and all we deal with is an ID number. ID number, so-and-so made these selections on here. Also, we're working out ways to ensure that in case we get certain people that want to go on and just mess things up, which there's people like that in the world. So we're looking around ways to ensure that won't happen. We're also looking at ways that people that aren't sure if they're cross-dressers or transgendered, or they say, well, I guess I'm transgendered, or, they may think that being a cross-dresser is transgender, or they may have been told by a doctor, and this happens a lot, a professional, when you walk in and you say, hey, I like wearing women's clothes, and they say, well, this is, you got to understand, this is your first step towards transitioning, so you better get used to it. And you say, no, I love my wife and or I'm a straight guy and whatever. The thing is, this is why we've got to get to the medical community, and this is our avenue to get to the medical community. They will hear this definitely through US Path and W Path. They're going to hear this. So this is profoundly important to all of us cross-dressers. That knowledge, that awareness that we're going to get out of this is going to help us legally. It's going to help us professionally. It's going to help us in every realm of life, and especially in our families, and our loved ones. Now we'll be better able to understand us because the data is there. How many times have you heard that guys come out to their wife and the obvious first question, are you gay? And what is it, like 96% or something of society or of cross-dressers are not gay. But how do you prove that to your wife? I mean, it's like, yeah, I'll but then they go on the internet and they see things and it all is just, I know Elizabeth is shaking her head, yes, because she's been there, she's seen it, and it's like, where did this come from? We'll have the data to refute all the negativity. We can say, go there. Here it is. Go there. It's worldwide data. Cross-dressers are like left-handed people. We're all over the world. I remember growing up, left-handed people are kind of weird because they use the other hand. But that's life around the world. So we have a lot going on here, and I am so excited about this, and I have been for a year. Join me, please join me. This is for us. I want to build a whole nother cultural level that is cross-dressing. So what we have this huge survey and multiple surveys. We'll learn some things and we're going to drill deeper in certain areas. There's also certain medical inclinations that the medical community has kind of wondered about, that cross-dressers may be prone to certain things that other males aren't prone to. So we're looking at all aspects of this. This is a long-term project. Long-term, the benefits are going to be awesome, totally awesome for us. And the 501c3, the nonprofit, is there for all of us. That's going to being the Crossdress Research Institute, that is going to bring so much more credibility to us when you say, I'm a crossdresser. And they'll say, what's that? Well, you can go to the Research Institute, you can go to the survey, you can get the results here and this and that. You've got data to support who you are, whether you're single, married, divorced, whatever. I don't care if you're green, purple, polka dot, or Martian. It's irrelevant. The fact is, you have it. You will get it for the first time. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing at this point. So, Dr. Dana Bevan is transgendered. And she initially was like, what are crossdressers? And was, you know, and she's head of US Path. Very awesome lady. And she has really jumped on board with us. Unbelievably so. And Dr. Vin, because I have a hard time with his last name, Tangprisha, you know, is another very, very awesome person. We have horsepower behind our culture for the first time ever. That's so, so important. You know, the survey, I'd like to have some help with a number of issues concerning the survey, because we want to vet this in a number of ways. So it's just not thrown out there for the hell of it. We want to vet this. We want to have certain administrators of various sites that we can send the survey to and have them look at it, you know, prior to it going out public, make ideas, corrections, you know, thoughts, tweaks, whatever, because we want to get it right for you guys. I'm the kind of person that I want it done yesterday, but I also know you got to do it right. You got to do it right. And that's where we're at. Yeah. We're going to, I'd like some help in starting blogs and forums, but I want to keep this at a level of our focus here of the deeper issues of us all. You know, not about what color lipstick you like and all that. There's wonderful forums and blogs and all that stuff out there. You go there for all that. You come in here for the deeper issues and things that we can talk about. You know, we can finally say it. We can finally, you know, as they say, get it off your chest or something. How are we doing on time? I have a problem with looking at things here.
It's almost 7:30.
Oh, okay. Well, I've been rattling on faster than I thought I would. Make sure and subscribe to our channel, whatever you do. Oh my gosh, we need subscribers. We need people. Whenever you see one of our videos, please like the video. Make comments in there. I want your feedback. I need your feedback. You know, tell me about this. Yes, Elizabeth.
Well, I did have a comment that's actually not necessarily related. Well, I had a couple comments, but by chance, Jennifer, I thought you said that your brother was left-handed. Are you left-handed?
No, my older brother is left-handed, and he was forced to learn to write with his right hand.
Oh, it's several of our cross-dressing friends mentioned that they are left-handed. So they were wondering if it was a commonality, but I believe they go by Darlene. And correct me if I'm wrong, the person that I think that you're Darlene, but they had a question that, do they need to spend a lot of money on their cross-dressing? And do you consider cross-dressing a habit or a hobby, excuse me?
Well, it's probably the easiest way I could explain it to a non-cross-dressing person. You know, hobbies have their own thing, you know. This is a deeper thing, but I use hobby sometimes because it's easier for people to kind of understanding. So if you notice, I say it's kind of like a hobby, but if you're really fervent into it and you're just deep diving into it and you just love it to to beat the band, you know, it's kind of like this. But don't forget, for us, it comes from within. All of a sudden, we get this thing. We just want to dress. We want to feel fragile. We want to feel, delicate or whatever. And here we are. We may be out there on the top of a roof, laying out roofing materials or something, or who knows what, fixing cars and things. Typically, rather male type jobs, but at the same time, we still have feelings. We feel more than the non-cross dressers. And this is a beautiful thing in us. It comes to us a lot. There's times when I cross dress, I have to for whatever reason, and I'm there, and I'm in, dress, but I don't quite have that deeper feeling, which I love when I'm in it. It is just it's so beautiful, but it comes to me. I'm not going to talk about myself and that, but I've heard others talk about it being a hobby, and but it's a good way to explain it to people that it's a very fervent type hobby. You another question?
No, it's just Darlene just commenting again that they discovered it was because more of like who they've been inside, and it just kind of came out. It's just something that needed to happen. It wasn't just not necessarily a well, I don't think for most of anybody, it's a choice. It's not a choice like today, I think I want to do this, and just try it out. I don't think that's how it really goes. I think it's more of a need. And I think that's, probably the most common thing.
Yes, I agree.
Now, because it is a need, but it's a very different need than a trans person. So like a trans person, I would almost say it's more of a dysphoria with their gender, and that they were really meant to be, they feel like they're really meant to be this other gender. And so, yes, that also comes from inside, but it really has a different purpose. It's really a different avenue. And
yes.
What are your thoughts on the differences, between trans and cross-dressing?
Yes, I really think that's very true. I think what comes to us about dressing, and we, it's like, oh, I just want to get in. I want to enjoy this. Sometimes you're having a stressful day. I've thought, well, is this some kind of a escapism from a really tough day? And I can't answer that really. And I hate to just say that, because then it's going to be taken as putting everybody in the same box. And I want to do that. But yeah, it's definitely a stress reliever, because we put this aside. When I go on a cruise, I leave my male self behind. I enjoy being Jennifer, and it's just flows. It's natural. It's wonderful. And, at some point I get to a point that it's like, okay, time to go back, and there's a certain, it's interesting how that happens from within. Mm-hmm. Within yourself. It's like, okay, time to go back. I've had enough Jennifer time, but then there's, like I said, times that you just go and stress relief. You enjoy the sensations, the fabrics. I know I've got some clothes that I just love the fabrics. I love touching it, and it is so beautiful and elegant. Mm-hmm. So I ramble on, by the way.
No, I'm looking at our friend Kat, which, by the way, Kat, thank you for the lovely little comment in your email. It was very sweet of you.
Hi, Kat.
So Kat just mentioned that their ex prefers the female side better, and has like literally said, I like your female persona better than your male persona. So I imagine that many people do have kind of two different personas. There are some that they just dress to dress, they enjoy dressing, but I find that a lot of our cross-dressing friends have almost a different personality. There's like this softer side, a more effeminate side that comes out while they dress. What are your thoughts on that, Jennifer?
Well, yes, and it's I've looked at this a lot, trying to figure things out and without my own biases into it. And I think it's more than a like a dual. It's not a dual personality. Okay, we go into another part of ourself. We're still who we are. Okay, but there's times even in my male self that I've been gentler and kinder, and other times I've been nasty or something. But when this side comes in, it's just a beautiful aspect of me. It's an aspect. I'm still me. Absolutely. I'm still me. And I think that's one of the real characteristics here, and a lot of women like the guy who's more sensitive, more aware of their relationship and how they're dealing with their lady, whether you're married or not. But they appreciate that, as we see this a lot differently than the standard 9 to 5 guy that's out there doing something. But it's an aspect of us, and we like that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a hobby, but anyway, it's an aspect of us.
And I was just thinking back to Darlene. Things rattle around in my head a little while, and then I have to say it. So spending money while you are cross-dressing, it doesn't have to be expensive, but I think the best way for cross-dressers to save money is to find like that good quality piece that's going to look really good. So instead of going into Goodwill and you think you're saving money by buying $3 to $8 pieces of wardrobe, but you're not trying them on because you're scared, and you just buying a bunch of different things and seeing what works, and then you're stuck with it because you can't return it, or you're not going to return it. So then you just wasted all of that money. It adds up. So instead, looking for influencers, and advice on things that work well, what style of dresses, if you want to wear actual women's clothes, find out styles that work for the male body or may enhance things that you want to enhance. So a little bit of research can go a long way, or finding sites like OnFemme, our friends at OnFemme, they create pieces to make the male body look more feminine. So it's cut differently. It's not women's clothes. It's made for a man to look more like a woman. So that, I think, is a really important factor. Yes, you might be paying a little bit more, but you got one really awesome piece that you are going to feel really good in versus 20 pieces that you're going to end up throwing away.
Absolutely.
Value to you.
Absolutely. Speaking of OnFemme, I've got a few of their pieces, and they fit like the proverbial glove. They're my go-to pieces, and you probably see me in them a number of times, and they fit so well. That's the main thing. We've been bringing a lot of quality people on here, OnFemme and the Breast Form store. This is where you get real value for your money. Like Elizabeth was saying, you can go there and you can nickel and dime yourself to death at Goodwill. If you put those nickels and dimes together, you got a couple really good pieces, and you'll feel good in them, and you know that they work for you.
And there's wonderful services like Fox and Hanger, our beautiful friend Julie at Fox and Hanger, that they can, if you, okay, I don't want to sit there and spend hours researching online and trying to figure this out myself, or you feel intimidated. Fox and Hanger, Julie is a wonderful, wonderful resource. Look them up, and you can get a free consultation, and she's going to help to start talking to you and figuring out what you want to be as a cross-dresser, what kind of imagery that you want to make your OnFemme persona. And she has all this experience with helping cross-dressers and trans find outfits. And hey, there you go. You saved yourself hours. So that's another way to go too. Definitely.
There's some really good stuff out there, and that's what we try to do. We try to filter through it. Especially the internet is filled with the the quick sale, this, the whatever, and they try to get erotic, or they try to do various things, and all to hook you. They want your money. That's all they care about. We like bringing people on that care about you. And this is what I think we've been very successful at, and we're going to continue doing just that. I can't wait for next week's guest, Jessica, to come on. It's going to be phenomenal. And I hope all of you tune in for that.
And just a little background, because I guess a lot of you probably don't know of Jecca Black, because it's a UK-based company, but it's starting to, it's really making its footing into the market now. That she used to be a makeup artist in films and commercials and photo shoots. And then somebody came to her attention and said they were trans, and said, you know what do I do? How do I do this? And she had more and more people asking her that were in the trans community, how do I apply contouring and makeup and hide my beard and things like that? And she goes, you know what, there's not really a makeup that's for these people, and for, for different shapes of, face and stuff like that. So she created makeup that helps to hide, our imperfections and reshape our faces the way we want them. And that goes for everybody. That's not just men trying to be women. That's women want to face shape and
sure.
our faults too. So that she goes, okay, this is a makeup for everyone. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of products out there, and a lot of them basically are knockoffs of women's stuff, and they just repackage it and give it a different name or something. So this is directed towards you. This is for you from the start, directed towards you, and not a knockoff of something else. I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm talking about some of the realities. That's important. And
or that they're cheap. There's some trans and cross-gendered makeup that's not nice. And so you wear this stuff, and then you end up with, you're in male mode, you're all broken out, and you look awful. So there's, they're not all makeup is created equal. That's
so very true. And I know enough about makeup, just enough to do whatever and all. But I do know that there's issues with makeup, and we're all trying. The thing is, you're trying. So when you go outside and you're presenting yourself as female, you do the best you can. Well, people respect that. That's what it's about. You're nice, you're kind, you're doing the best you can, and all. Always think, when you go out dressed, you are a ambassador for the cross-dressing culture. And just leave a little bit of sparkle dust behind you of being nice. And people will remember that. That's how we open up the world about cross-dressers. Don't hesitate to talk about cross-dressing, because a lot of people really want to know. And they're not being negative. You said they've never had the information. It's like we've never had the information. That's why we're going with this survey. And, there's been a few surveys like 25, 30 years ago that had a few hundred people. One of them, I think, was about 1,000. But we're looking at doing this worldwide with the internet. We can really make a huge bang here and be able to get deep data on all this, credible data. This is what's important. Help me, join with me to make this happen. We're going to need a lot of caring, loving cross-dressers and their females, because I know there's some ladies out there that want to help also, because they see the benefits that a cross-dresser accepting this, gives to their man and gives to her as the wife and their family, and they step up to the plate for their cross-dressing man. And I think that is so beautiful. They've gained. There's so much to gain here. That's what I love about this. I'm putting everything I can into it, but it's a huge undertaking. I've got more things that I could tick off here about things I'm doing and other aspects of this. But right now, this is the the big stuff. I've been working on it for about a year and a half. And we've slowly been refining things and getting the right places and not doing this frivolously. This is to be serious because we'll get serious data. Think of all the people that we're helping. Think if you had help like this when you got started. Think about that. So anyway, I'm so blessed to be here. And a lot of people say, well, if I could take a pill and get rid of cross-dressing, you know, I would do that. Well, guess what? I wouldn't take the pill if there was one, because I realize this aspect of me is so beautiful, so kind, so loving, and it opens up so many avenues. It has changed me, the male me. And I want everyone out there, drop me some notes on the comments below, okay? Make some comments, because cross-dressing had really changed my male self to a better person, a better male. I'm a lot better male because I finally accepted and went with my feminine side, and that just opened up wonderful doors for my male side. Mm-hmm. I feel blessed that I have this. I want to know what you have to say. Would you be willing to help, either at the survey or the 501c3, through there, you know, because there's a lot to stuff to get done, but it's all helping everybody.
So make sure that you private message us on Facebook at Crossdress Radio Network, on Instagram as Crossdress Radio Network, on Twitter as CrossdressRN. Be there.
Yeah, sounds great. And also we have a Patreon side, which really helps us out because, you know, I can only foot so much of this bill, and the bill is getting bigger all the time because there's so much going on. And I'm looking at, hopefully, once we get this together, to approach larger companies to help out with this. And so there's a lot larger picture than this. I need to get the basics down and together and stuff, and some research on the computer and various things. If you got a talent that you can help us with, maybe you're a writer or you're good at graphics or whatever, you know, there's always a need for these things to help out. And that pushes us this much more forward down the road for everybody, because we're all pitching in to help everybody. And don't forget to subscribe, like I've said, and like. That's all very important to us. Tell your friends about us. When you're on other blogs and other forums and this and that, mention us. You know, let's expand this, because we are the real voice. We get into the guts of cross-dressing, and that's where the future lies for us all, is right here at Crossdress Radio Network. So I'm not sure what else to say. I'm kind of.
Thank you, Delora, for commenting and sharing with us on the Facebook. Delora has actually used Julie at Fox and Hanger, and has said that, you know, it's only taken her 30 years to figure out her cross-dressing and accept herself. So it's never too late. It is never too late. You can't, you know, you totally can teach an old dog a new trick. You know, it's before you go from this earth, enjoy your life a little bit. And if cross-dressing is that's your thing, then so be it. Please enjoy your life.
Yes, definitely. I love you all, and I look forward to your comments. I look forward to you helping out so we can really put this forward big time, and really shake up the thing, shake up the world here as far as cross-dressing goes. We will have our own niche, the cross-dresser niche, and we will be respected for who we are. And that's important to us and our families. So with that, I'm going to say thank you all very much. I love you all. I worked for a year and a half on this, and it is just wonderful. Elizabeth, thank you so very much for being on. Melissa's back somewhere with switches and dials and where the bodies are buried. So,
Thanks, Melissa. All right. Good night,
okay.
my dears. Have a
Good
great
night.